Hey everyone, welcome back to Wiley and Company Homestead. Okay, so I had a little mishap on this peanut butter pie. We're back in the kitchen and we have another recipe that actually came from one of my sister-in-laws. I have 6 sister-in-laws and they all are pretty good cooks and have great recipes as well passed down to them, and this particular recipe is something that one of my sister-in-laws used to bring to our family functions a lot of times, and it is a peanut butter pie. I have never made it before myself. I was talking to her the other day and I was like, we were talking about different desserts, and she said, well, I have my peanut butter pie recipe, and I said, well, you have to send it to me and I have to try it. So this is going to be a first time trying it. It'll be interesting to see how it comes out. So stick with us and let's get to the recipe. Alright, so I'm going to go over the ingredients that go into this peanut butter pie. It's pretty simple. First thing you want to have is something for your crust. And she usually does hers with a graham cracker crust, and I was going to do that, but I went to get my graham crackers out and realized that my son had used most of them for s'mores, so I don't have enough to make with a graham cracker crust. But I do have these. They're sort of like Oreos. They're more of a generic form, and I've used them in actually making mini cheesecakes before. So I thought with them being chocolate and similar to Oreos that they would make a good crust. So we're going to try it with this. And I talked to her about it, and she said you can do variations on your crust. You could actually use just a regular pie crust or shortened bread, vanilla wafers, whatever you like to go with your peanut butter combination. So, but I think with the chocolate this will be really interesting. You're gonna need some powdered sugar, butter, and then she said to use vanilla pudding, but you also could use chocolate if you prefer chocolate. You're actually going to mix some peanut butter in with the pudding. You're going to need milk to mix the pudding, and backtrack on the pudding. You can either use the instant, which is what we have here, or you can use the cook and serve. So whichever you prefer. And then also the sugar. You're gonna need a little bit of sugar. She recommended putting a little bit of sugar in the graham cracker crust, and I know this has like a white stuffing. We're gonna crumble this up, but we'll put a little bit of sugar in to help hold it all together, plus some melted butter. And then of course the main attraction is going to be peanut butter. So pretty simple to put together. First thing though we're going to do is make the crust. Okay, so according to you can buy like the pre-made graham cracker crust, or the pre-made Oreo crust, or pre-made pie crust, or you can get the cookies or the graham crackers and actually crush them up, and that's what we're going to do. Of course you're going to need a baggie, and I just like to use a rolling pin. So approximately about 1.5 to 2 cups will make the crust. So I'm not quite sure how many cookies that's going to be, so I'm just going to kind of guess here. We'll start with this. I don't have my gallon size bag, so I'm going to use a quart size bag. In here, I'm trying to use my or a rolling pin. And actually, this is going to be nice because it has a cream in it for the cookies, so that's actually going to hold the crust together even more. You just want to crush those up as fine as you can. It's a little hard to see with the cream. And you can also do this in a food processor. It would work great. Just trying to fill around here to make sure crushed up pretty good. It's kind of hard with the cream to tell. I'll just give it one more good roll here. I'm sure we're going to need a little bit more than that. So I'm going to just put it in this measuring thing. And I've got a half a cup here because I figured that a cup would be a little large to fit in this bag. That's a half a cup. It looks like it's about a cup and a half. Pretty good. With the cream, it likes to stick in the bag a little more. If it's a little over a cup and a half, it's not going to hurt. Obviously, with graham crackers, it's going to be a little easier to get out of the bag. Like I said, I have used these for mini cheesecakes, and sometimes I just put the whole cookie right in the bottom and pour the cheese mixture over top. So that's a little bit more than a cup and a half, but that's completely fine. And just give another little chop because sometimes you can't see. Actually, I'm going to get my fork. I never have my fork ready. And just do a final. Okay, so as far as the butter, you can use salted or you can use unsalted. She recommended if you use unsalted, and I think it's on the original recipe, is just to put a little bit of pinch of salt in. But we're going to use the salted because that's what I had already softened. So you just want to pour that in there. So basically you are melting your butter. Now, if you were using the graham cracker crust, you could bake the crust to brown the butter a little more, but I'm not going to do that because we're using these chocolate cookies. And then obviously a regular pie crust, you would want to bake it about 5 to 8 minutes just to have it set a little bit. I don't know, it just seems like I need a little bit more crumbs. So I'm going to add that to the recipe. You might want to go as much as 2 cups because I'm looking at my pie pan and I'm thinking that you need a little more. So we're probably using a little over half of what was in the tray, this little tray. Like I said, I've never made this before, so we're kind of all doing this first time together. I mean, I've used Oreo cookies several times to do full-size cheesecakes, and these seem to have a little bit more cream in them to me. The Oreos seem like they're thinner. Alright, well that's pretty good. Other than I'm making a mess of my thing. Alright, so we're just going to put this in a regular. Get this out of the way. Let me just mix the extra that I put in there. And this is why it's good to use a fork, because I saw a couple little chunks that didn't quite get crushed up, and just helps them. Alright, so we're going to put that in our pie crust. And I have this other measuring cup. It actually lost its handle, but this is a good thing. You want something that you can. My spatula. Actually, I'm going to use the fork at first, just to kind of get it. And try to get it up the side the best you can, but with the glass, it's going to be a little bit hard to keep it there. So with the melted butter, the butter is when you melt it, you're kind of cooking it, so it's not going to be a problem not baking this. I just don't know how chocolate, well, I mean, when you do a cheesecake, it cooks just fine, but it's usually completely covered. Okay, so I already, I did not add any sugar in there. I might just sprinkle some. It probably really doesn't need it because the cream probably has plenty of sugar. I guess we'll just leave it out. So that's an optional if you're using chocolate. I would definitely recommend it with the graham cracker. So we got it up the side pretty good. You can just take your finger. And you see the cream from the cookie just basically blends in with the chocolate once you get the butter in there. Okay. I probably need to quit messing with it because I kind of had it perfect. And okay. Alright, so there we go. We got our base. And now we're going to go on to the other two parts. And basically, you're going to make the pudding like you do regular pudding, and you're going to also do a topping. So we're going to do the topping first so we can be ready to put that on top. And basically the topping is a half a cup of peanut butter to 2 cups of powdered sugar, and you're going to make like a crumble. Now, my sister-in-law said that she just does it with the mixer, but she said she's done it with a fork before too, so we're just going to use this fork. And we're just going to put the peanut butter right into the powdered sugar. And hope we don't get powdered sugar everywhere. That's why I don't use the mixer, because powdered sugar just flies when you use a mixer. But I'm going to have to use it in the future video because we're going to do some peanut butter fudge. And you actually heat up the mixture with the peanut butter, and then you add it to the powdered sugar, and you have to use a mixer to. Alright, so basically you're just going to work this around till you get like a crumbly. She calls this in the recipe the peanut butter crumb. And I imagine as the pie sets that the powdered sugar will kind of phase into the peanut butter and the pie itself. Alright, that's the crumb. Looks like powdered sugar right now, but alright, so we're going to make the pudding, and it's basically follow the box since we're doing the instant. And this is actually 5 4.1 ounces. She said to use 4.6, but they didn't have any of those boxes with that ounce. So I think it'll be fine just to use a little bit more. And it says for this one, 3 cups of cold milk. We are going to use 2 cups of cold milk. And then she said she adds heavy cream if she has it on hand. And I actually have some that I made. So I'm going to use a cup of that. And I'll just make it thicker. And one more thing to add to this is a tablespoon of peanut butter. But we're going to do a little more than a tablespoon because it is a little bit more on the puddings. Alright, so this we are going to use the mixer. I'm going to start low. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and now we're going to assemble the pie. So you're supposed to put half of the crumblies on the bottom of the pie. So we'll do half. And I'm using this big fork, so that's about half. Okay, and then we're going to put the pudding on top of that. Pudding mixture, because it does have peanut butter in it. Yeah, I can see the 5 and it is a difference with 5 ounces. It's pretty full, but it'll be fine once it sets up. All right, and I'm just gonna fix that because it bugs me. Probably doesn't really matter once you put the crumbles on. And for these, I'm gonna, for the top crumblies, I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use this because it seemed like they just poured out. So then you put the rest of the crumblies on top. All right, so there you have it. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it set up. Probably be about 30 minutes or so to set up, and then we'll come back. Remember when I was showing the powdered sugar crumble that we put on top? Well, I had to confer with my sister-in-law, and it's not supposed to look like powdered sugar. It's supposed to be looking more like flaky peanut butter. So we're going to try to save this pie, and let me show you what we're going to do. Okay, so this is too powdery, and she said that I probably should have added up some more peanut butters because it's supposed to be more looking like peanut butter. And I can see where it's touching the pudding. It's kind of doing that now. So I'm just going to get as much of this off of here. She said sometimes different brands of peanut butter, she starts with a half a cup, and then depending on the brand of peanut butter, it might take a little bit more. So you can see the crumble here, it's starting to, because it's against the pudding. So we're going to see if we can save the rest of this. The bottom, obviously we can't, but with the pudding on top of it, it'll probably, the powdered sugar will probably melt into the pudding. It's already pretty much set up. And I really can't get the powdered sugar off the edges, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to leave that over here. So, you know, we do have mishaps once in a while in making recipes. If you can fix it and save it, that's all the better. So I'm going to add to this some more peanut butter. Let's stir it up here. Now I think I'm seeing how it's supposed to look. That's looking more crumbly. You can see it. Sorry, there's a shadow there. I'm just going to add a little bit more peanut butter to make sure. So I would say probably almost a cup of peanut butter to the 2 cups of powdered sugar. I probably still would maybe only do a cup and a half. But so we'll put the basic guidelines on the recipe, and then, you know, if you want more or less, that can be your call. Okay, that's, I think, more of what she was meaning. It's like a crumble. So now we're going to put this on there. And that looks more like what I remember her pies. But see, this is still a lot. So I'm going to put on the recipe a cup and a half. Okay. I'm just trying to make this look a little nicer. Alright, that's as good as I'm going to be able to get. So yeah, we do have a little bit of the crumble left, which will probably be really good on ice cream. And there is what it's supposed to look like. So we're going to put that back in the refrigerator and let it set up some more, and we'll finish it off. Alright, our peanut butter pie has been sitting in the refrigerator for about an hour. I mean, you could go longer if you wanted. Obviously you could do it and put it in and leave it in there overnight. So you can finish this off by just putting some whipped cream on it if you were taking it to a special occasion, party, whatever, and just cover it with whipped cream. My sister-in-law actually said you can garnish it with like Hershey syrup, caramel syrup, you know, cookie crumbles, whatever you like to put on with your peanut butter. But I actually have some melted chocolate left over from when we did our peanut butter balls. So I thought I would drizzle that on there. And of course this will harden up a little bit. It has a little bit of shortening in it to thin it, make it a little thinner. And I'll just add a little bit extra chocolate, I guess. So I'm not going to cover it with whipped cream because we're probably going to just eat it individual pieces. And with whipped cream, when you know, it can melt after a certain time. Plus, it's harder to cover in the refrigerator. But this is what we got. Beautiful peanut butter pie.
Alright, I guess that's good. Right.
So let's go ahead and try to cut a piece out, and it's kind of soft. I don't know if it's going to come out as a whole piece.
That looks so good, honey.
And you see the chocolate's already set up.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it is about that time of evening again.
Even if it doesn't come out as a whole piece, it'll still be.
Alright, I won't get this in your business.
Well, you know how pies are.
Oh, yeah, look at that, though. Looks like custard, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wanted to get it as a whole piece, but.
Nah. I better get it back in the fridge.
Or the freezer.
Yeah. It's still be warm in there.
I'm sure it's going to be good. Okay.
You gonna take a taste?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do something else?
Whip
What are you doing there?
Whipped cream.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And then I thought too, since we used a chocolate cookie crust,
Right.
you could add a little bit of that on as a garnish.
Yes, you could. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, looks great. Okay, yeah.
So, I'll just use this spoon. Now, I'm not a peanut butter freak, but I did taste a little bit of the pudding. That's really good. The peanut butter in the pudding is subtle. It's not overwhelming. And then you got the peanut butter crumble on top.
Huh. Yeah, it seemed like it would go together nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Wiley thinks so.
Who likes anything peanut butter? Look at Wiley. Okay, I got somebody else to try it.
Alright guys, I had to come back on and tell you this stuff here just melts in your mouth. It's so good. And I felt so strongly about that I had to tell you so you'll make some.
It's good. I don't even like peanut butter, just occasionally, but
The peanut butter taste isn't that strong. It all blends together.
Yeah.
And it's like candy. I mean,
and it's really good with the chocolate crust too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all blends in.
All right. Well, we just had to.
Alright, I gotta go eat the rest of this, guys.
Yeah. There you go. It's my sister-in-law's peanut butter pie. I thank her for the recipe. Had a little mishap on the crumble part, but you'll see that in the video, of course. We fixed it. Thanks again for stopping by and joining us on this little journey.
Yep.
So, have a blessed day.
Amen.